Hey, everybody in the Altspace community, I hope you're ready for a drunken good time because it's 5 o'clock somewhere with your hosts, DogeCola and Epolight.
Alrighty, ladies. We're going to give to our real world sponsor of the evening. Before we get started, thank you so much for coming in. If you have a problem with bad words and sexual innuendos, you can probably head right back onto the campfire. This is a 21 up event, so we will be talking about things your little minds probably won't fucking be able to forget. So here we go. So today our real world sponsor again is the Milky Way Trading Post, where they will sell you lovely pot products like little dicks in a bag. He's going to be making boxes in a box soon. BDSM paddles, Ouija boards, Quest 2.
It's basically
customized,
all handcrafted, customizable.
yes, handcrafted. Premium wood,
yeah.
okay? That is
Yep.
premium wood, okay? So if you want to stroke some nice, smooth, hard wood, he only uses the best. And if you use the coupon code, it's 5 o'clock, you get 10% off your order and this free redeem for one good screw. It's 5 o'clock somewhere token. I use it as a keychain.
Hey.
Alrighty,
Nice.
so
Alrighty,
let's
so give
kick
me
it
one
off.
moment. Sergius, don't do anything yet.
Bitch.
Jesus.
You will
And
find out.
put in music. Sergius, put in music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to 5 o'clock somewhere, the drunken talk show where anything goes. I'm your host, Saul. This is my bartending co-host.
Epolight Laval, who can't hear her host right next to fucking her. You're trying
Wow.
to megaphone.
I am on megaphone.
He is
Then
on
speak the
megaphone.
fuck up.
You son of a bitch. I'm on the look. Altspace is being a cunt. Anyway, Epolight, how's your weekend been?
If it's being a cunt, then fuck it. I don't know what to tell you, okay?
Hey, excuse me. We have a copyright disclaimer we have to talk about
Oh,
real
Jesus
quick.
Christ.
Sorry.
Go.
Right. We had to tell you for legal purposes. We did not write the porno music you just heard. Who wrote the porno music?
Kevin McLeod wrote the porno music. It's called Proto Funk. You can visit that shit at incompetech.com.
There you go.
Alright.
Porno funk.
There you go.
Love it. Anyway, how's your weekend been, Epa?
My week has been fantastic. We have a new roof over the house, so no more ceiling tits. The windows are coming in soon. It's amazing. Can't wait. Nothing like
Nice.
putting some new shutters on. So, how about you? How was your week? What are you
I had a
drinking to, by the way?
fantastic week. No, I'm drinking some bourbon tonight. Bourbon kind of night.
Wow,
Yeah.
good stuff. Usually a Scotch guy. Guess what I'm drinking? The same thing I always drink. Tequila.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Italian margaritas.
Hell yeah.
Italian margaritas. I like to change it up with like my Captain Ate My Cherry on the beach, but I didn't have the ingredients. So. Plus, that shit was going a long time ago.
And what's an Italian margarita? What the hell is that?
Italian margarita is where you take your agave tequila and you mix it in with amaretto. There you go.
Oh,
Italian
nice.
margarita
Nice.
instead of the
I
normal
like
triple
good
sec.
amaretto.
I personally like triple sex at the same time, but that's quite all right.
Triple, yeah. Oh yeah, celebrated my birthday this week. I'm another year older.
Nice. Oh,
Oh,
good. You're gonna
man.
finally start wearing men's clothing. That's great.
Fuck you. Yeah, I got my.
No
my
more kids for the
birthday
apartment.
boy.
Thank you. Got my big boy underoos on. Starting to wear the pens now. God knows I need some, for this show. But,
Yes. Yeah, you do.
Alright,
I'm a
yeah.
professional.
I know.
All right.
Okay, it's only happened like what twice this entire time we've hosted this show, where I've had to like leave to take a piss because I just couldn't hold it in anymore. It's like alcohol, man. It runs right through you.
So,
Thanks.
so, so shall I get into it? I know we want to keep it. We kind of like got
Yeah,
off
no,
to a slow
go
start.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So I want to talk about something serious. First off, the fucking Macaulay Culkin dissed us again. He wouldn't get back to us. So fuck Macaulay Culkin. We need to get a Twitter feed and just be like, Macaulay, why are you not getting back to us again on the show? And second, any other ladies here like toys? Any other ladies? Toys? All right, I
Oh,
knew you
nice.
did. All right. Yeah, I'll never forget when I got myself a real GI Joe. He came with he came with all the accessories. He knew how to use his rifle. It was never half cocked. And yes, he came. Yes, and he came with an additional Lady Jane action on the side figure cheating motherfucker. Yeah. and father fucker. Don't ask, don't tell. Fuck you, Todd. Oh my god. I mean, but I have him to thank. I mean, was that bastard. I found the best vibrator I ever owned in my life. Ladies, if you you need to get yourself one. It's called a 650 Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle.
Yes.
I mean, just turn that thing on, and it gives you good vibrations in all the right areas. Oh my god. Holy shit, I wore booty shorts one time that kept rubbing the clit. Well, yeah, exactly. I wore booty shorts that kept rubbing the clit. And let me tell you, when I was going, I was coming. Alright, it was good times. I cruised around the block multiple of times until I had to pull over. Doge, I ran out of gas before the bike did. But the bike enjoyed it too because that fucker was smoking. You were good, babe. You were real good. It's the only vibrator I know that gets you there twice, or in that case, multiple of times, since my jeans were drenched and not because of the humidity. On top, from the top, make it drop. That's a wet ass
Don't you
bike.
fucking. Oh my
Wear
god.
your bucket in the top and ride the sweat ass pudding. Oh, come on, who doesn't like WAP? Another bonus to being a motorcycle is that if my boyfriend rode on the back seat riding bitch, I even got poked along the way. I mean,
There you
it
go.
was a
It's a
twofer.
win-win.
So, vroom vroom, Big Daddy. I actually learned out more about my girlfriend while I was dating when the same thing happened. But I didn't mind. I was like, ooh, I like where this is going. What? I'm kinky and submissive, Doge. Don't fucking judge me. All right.
Hey, you
Who
know what?
doesn't? Who doesn't like vibrating boobs pressed up against them? You know.
Wow.
I've
then
never
again,
had it personally, but you know what?
Really?
It sounds like a
Well, you need a
vibrating boobs.
vibrating
yeah,
boobs up against your back.
Why not?
Well, here,
Why not?
you'll like this. I rode a fat boy once. Holy shit, that horse was hard to control. Oh, a fat boy is a Harley Davidson, you deviant fucks.
Oh,
I mean, look, I own sports bikes though, so the only my Harley was a fucking Harley Quinn, okay? What? I don't care that bitch was crazy. She's hot. She's hot as fuck, alright? You just have to be careful, because she might give you poison ivy. And you know, I love my menage a trois. Anyway, dude, let's get into some drunk news before we get a comedian to actually show me how it's done. Al, the bar is this low, so we got you. The bar is low.
we got this week in drunk news. There we go. The time is still off, but there you are.
I'm sure your wife says that all the time.
According to an article from the BBC News, Australia is to kill U.S. pigeon that crossed the Pacific. Look at that fucking sly fucker over there. You know, I thought, you know, it has nothing to do with alcohol per se, but right, the pigeons are fucking spies for the bourgeoisie.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Someone needs to re-enter.
I glitched out a little bit there. But pigeon that traveled across the Pacific Ocean is to be put down after running afoul of Australia's strict quarantine rules. The bird reportedly went missing during a race in the U.S. state of Oregon in late October before turning up in Melbourne like 2 months later, which is fucking, like, you know, how the fuck? I don't know. I guess the pigeon was like, fuck the U.S., after everything was going on. I'm going to
God,
Australia.
Americans are so hated. They don't even like our pigeons.
I know.
Well, how do you know cow pigeons?
It was from a race. It was a race pigeon from Oregon. Anyway, the pigeon has not yet been caught.
Yet it's
The
still
Department
finished lower
of
than Doge.
Agriculture, the Water and Environment says it will have to be put down because of the danger it may cause on the local birds in the area, regardless of its origin. So everyone's looking for this pigeon, trying to kill it, but they haven't caught it yet, which I thought is hilarious. How do you miss the pigeon? I don't know.
I think it's
So anyway, in other news, Australians everywhere are confused as to why they can hear Fortunate Son in the distance. I don't know, man.
Alrighty, let's.
All right,
Alright.
ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing out our guest for the evening to come up here and do some comedy for you. Let's bring out the. Come on, Deborah. You have a. Yeah.
Well, I thought we were going to do our fake ad, but you know what? At some point in the middle, so let's get him out since you called him. We have the biggest, the famous, the best, Big Al Gonzales. He's the best. He's traveling with Steve Trevino, right?
Yeah, can I get a microphone?
How,
Yeah, you should be on.
hold on.
on
How
the-
the fuck did we not get this guy on megaphone already?
He's on megaphone, but I'll give him a
Alright,
It is
there we
5
go.
o'clock somewhere.
We have been drinking.
Hey guys, how you
One
doing?
minute.
Welcome to the It's 5 o'clock somewhere show. Give it up for your host, Epolight. And
Thank you.
how am I pronouncing this? Is it DogeCola?
Or however the fuck you want to pronounce it, really.
All right, DogeCola. Give it up for those two over here. So awesome. Doja, right? Smoke a little bit tonight. Smoke them if you got them. Who smokes weed here?
Woo!
All right, 4 people, 5 people. Sweet.
The rest
You know what I
of
miss?
the
I moved from California to Texas, and the one thing I miss is being able to get into smoke circles in the public. That's like one of my favorite things. And whenever we used to smoke, we'd always get into conversations that were way above our pay grade. You ever do that? You start smoking out, and you start talking about shit you shouldn't be talking about, like just some wild ass stuff. Like I was hanging out with my 2 boys and we were smoking, and my one boy he took a hit. He's like, "Yo, dude, you ever wonder how vast the universe is? Like does it just keep going and going and going?" And we're like, "Dude, that is deep. Chill." And then my next friend, he took a hit. He's like when you die, is your body just is it dead, or is your mind still active and your soul in the coffin and you're just there for eternity thinking? We're like, dude, that is 6 feet deep. Chill out. Then they passed it over to me and I took a hit and I was like, yo, who's that motherfucker who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And they're like, dude, that is deep. That is bikini deep, bottom deep. Relax, chill. Thanks for being out here. My name is Big Al. No, I'm not done. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys are great. And it's 5 o'clock somewhere, apparently. I'm really enjoying the whole VR experience. Like the weirdest thing is, I don't know like how many of you people this is your first time being in VR or experiencing like the whole gaming experience. But like before I got into the VR Oculus headset world, I hadn't bought a gaming system for over 10 years. Like I have the same Xbox for 10 years. I jumped into Altspace back in March. I bought a Go. My friend said, dude, you got to get a headset. I bought a Go. 2 months later, obsolete. Obsolete. 2 months after buying it. He was like, buy a Go. You're going to love it. It's going to be wonderful. Yeah, buy a Go. $300 down the drain. I haven't used it since.
Damn.
So then I bought obviously the next one. I bought the Quest 1. I didn't know it was the Quest 1. I just thought it was the Quest. And then 2 months later, I found out it's the Quest 1 because they're going to make that obsolete and they're introducing the Quest 2. So within 4 months, I bought 2 headsets, both obsolete. obsolete. So eventually I ended up buying the Quest 2, and then boom, 2 months later, I find out they're coming out with the Quest 3 soon. So welcome to VR
excuse me?
Oculus Facebook land. Oh, you're new to this? Okay. But I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm on the Oculus community board on Facebook, and there's some of the best conversations in there. Like people ask for advice, or they tell you about their experience or things that will make your experience better. And there was a gentleman who was talking about his son playing Creed. His son was playing Creed, and he goes, can anybody help me out? Because every time my son plays Creed, at some point the headset falls off his head. What advice do you have to keep it on my son's head? Everybody else was giving legit answers, like serious legit answers about how to keep the headset on his son's head. And after reading all those, I couldn't resist it. Being a comic, obviously, I wrote down, can anybody give me some advice to keep this headset on my son's head while he's playing Creed? So naturally, being a comic, I wrote boxing lessons. Boxing lessons. Creed is a boxing game for some of you who don't play. All right, cool. Next joke. So obviously, when I came in here specifically so that I can do comedy. Because of COVID, they shut down all the comedy clubs for a couple months, and so I had no way of getting on stage and performing. So obviously my friend introduced me to this, and I came in, and I had a place to perform like I do tonight. I have more people performing. I'm performing to more people tonight in Altspace than I am in most clubs right now during COVID. So I'm very appreciative of that. But again, I came in here specifically for comedy. Most people use the headset for gaming. Now, there's another segment of society, Epolight, one of them, who uses it for porn. And you use it for porn? All right, Angel Baby, cool, awesome. So I'm not one of those people. I didn't do this for porn, but naturally I'm curious because everybody keeps talking. Have you done the porn? Have you tried the porn? Dude, you gotta try the porn. So finally, I did it. I jumped in. I had to check out how the VR porn was, and I jumped in, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is crazy. It's like you're right there. And then I'm looking down, and then I realized, I was like, oh snap, look at that. But then after a while, I started searching, right? I started searching through, just to look at the variety. And what I found out was that VR porn is usually filled with mostly large-dicked white guys or large-dicked black guys. There wasn't like an abundance of small-dick, large-balled Mexican dudes that I can relate to while I'm having my VR porn experience. Thank you.
All right. Big Al, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that enough for you? Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Everybody give it up.
I'm going to end on that, ladies and gentlemen. You're a great audience. Thank you so much for coming.
Let's give it up to the big bald, Big Al Gonzales.
So do I sit on the couch now? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a little sticky, don't worry. It's just,
Yes, because it's I requested on my writer that it has to be extremely sticky.
Doge took care of that for you. He's a good host.
Your audience is slow. They're slow.
Yeah.
Wake up, people.
I think
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Hopefully
there's like a feedback going on.
With who?
Yeah, a little bit of a feedback, but not.
I think it's coming from you. I don't know.
Well, it's not me because I'm sitting alone. I'm not even on a PC. I'm not near a PC.
Ow.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard it. You heard it, right?
Are you saying it's me?
Ow.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Damn it! All right, I'll be right back, kids.
Okay.
Right after these messages from our sponsor.
Yes, from our sponsor, Sergius. Get your ass up here. Let's get a sponsor.
I'll be right back.
No problem. if you're new to the show, our sponsors are how we pay for this set. We pay for Epolight's lovely dress over here, the beer and booze, of course, that we consume. Anyway, Sturgis, if you do not know, a buddy of ours just died recently. So as you can see over there,
Oh my gosh.
we have the little tribute over here, and we had to use the service personally. So Sturgis, why don't you talk to the audience about the dollar funeral services?
Oh, wonderful. Hello, everybody. I'm Sergius, and this smells like an ad. So, my good boy, I have never had a long-term committed relationship before, and then SurgeBot came into my life.
Right
And then
here.
Altspace fucking updated, and I didn't have the email that SurgeBot signed up for, and now SurgeBot is dead. So now I got SurgeBot 2, always an upgrade. And since I can't afford an actual funeral for my beloved boyfriend Bot, I have gone with the dollar store funeral service. You save big bucks when your loved one kicks the fucking bucket. Hello, everybody, you fucking poor too when your boyfriend kicks the bucket. You're like, I can't afford to spend money on your goddamn it. Well, this is the solution for you. To these bots. They died. Hey, he may have been a robot, but he meant more to me than any human in life, and that's pretty goddamn sad.
Rock on.
Anyway, with the dollar store funeral services, it is literally just $1 for every little thing. SurgeBot's casket, that was $1. I didn't have anything to stick in it. I just fucking tears and maybe a used condom.
He likes
anyway.
sticking it in the box.
Yes, I do sometimes. The shitty bouquet of flowers, that was also $1. I tossed in a juice box, that was $1. What else was $1? Oh yeah, the grave dirt, that was $1. That was really tasty later, and we even had some dollar brand priests. And I am not a religious person, nor was SurgeBot, but we did believe firmly in the cult of Surge. So we got somebody ordained in the cult of Surge, and they said some very harsh, nasty words for me, and it was beautiful. It brought a tear to my eye. And at the end of services, I walked away arm in arm with my new buddy SurgeBot too. I'll get used to him eventually, maybe.
He's better equipped from what I heard, so he'll love him later tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out the dollar store services for your funeral. Check the bottles and the
Personally,
the
I
generic
prefer
brand,
5 and below
Lucky Charm.
funeral services, so I'd rather spend a little bit more, but there you
You
go.
know what? Epolight?
Let's get Big Al back up here. Let's start the interview because Al, how's it sounding, Al? Do we have him back on? Are we on hit megaphone again?
Sounds better.
All right. I'll get him.
We'll get this machine
right.
oiled soon.
There we go.
All right.
Lovely.
So I gotta say, I am a huge fan of yours, Al. Sorry, I've been drinking, so it does not have anything to do with how much of a fan I am. But
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Somewhere.
we don't know
We're pretty
where,
sure.
especially
We're pretty
during daylight savings times. But I gotta appreciate Al runs a class that helps you better at stand-up. Now I know some of you probably didn't like my vibrating motorcycle from earlier, but I mean it was a very good time, a very good ride, or 7. But Al, I gotta appreciate everything you've done for me personally. And tell me, how did you start getting into being an instructor and then taking it to virtual reality?
Well, so we'll go back a couple of years ago. I actually, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Big Al, and I've been a comic for a little over 15 years. I started out in San Francisco, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and then I ended up in Texas. So that's where I'm currently located. Sorry, I don't even know where I'm at right now. I'm in Texas. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. It's a big state, so I couldn't figure out what part of it I was in. But I live in San
He
Antonio,
likes the big
Texas.
part.
I like it big, and I cannot lie. So I was doing. Thank you. You got it. I was doing comedy out here in San Antonio, and I was doing comedy for a little theater called the Bear Stage. And at some point, the owners of the club, not the hair stage, but the Bear Stage.
Well, I didn't know you were
Stage.
there.
Have you seen me? So it's spelled Vexar. So apparently that's German for bear. So we. All right. So we were going to the theater. I was performing there, and I performed there for about a year. And eventually the owners came up to me and they approached me and they asked me if I would be interested in teaching stand-up because I didn't have a stand-up program. It was just all improv. And I was a little apprehensive at first because I had a certain attitude about classes from my own experience in the past. And so I explained that to them. And I explained to them, look, you can go to open mics and you can learn stuff on your own. You don't need to pay for a class. But then they broke it down to me at some point. They kept pushing and pushing. And eventually they explained to me, that it's not easy for people to get on stage or to do anything, because it's very scary to get up here and talk to people that you don't know. And some people don't have the wherewithal to go to an open mic, or they don't have the schedule. So paying for a class is actually beneficial for them. And once they explained it to me, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And so reluctantly, I tried it for the first time. Oh, where'd I go?
He's risen.
He tried it for the first time and he flew away.
So I got a kick out of it, and it was very uplifting. Yes.
A little too late to draw there, buddy.
You guys gotta be quicker. You gotta be quicker. Quicker on the draw.
I get a little apprehensive around bears too, because like one time I thought I was coming between them and their cubs. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to date him. What the fuck? Anyway.
So I eventually jumped into it, and I had fun. Like the first class I taught, I totally enjoyed it. Like the group of people that were in my class were amazing. And I was like, I didn't know I had it in me. And I came up with a syllabus and we did it. And I got to see these 10 students go from day 1 to week 8, and to see them become these funny individuals in 2 months was amazing. And I was like, I love this. And so I got hooked and I kept doing them, and then COVID hit. So I did it for about 2 years, and then COVID hit. And so then it affected everything for me. And so after doing live comedy in Altspace, doing VR comedy in Altspace, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And finally, one of my partners that I work with here in Altspace said, why don't you try teaching your class in VR? And I was like, we can do that? And he goes, yeah. It's no different than doing the comedy class or a talk show or anything else that they do here live in Altspace. And so we did it. We put it together, and you were in my first class. So, and you've been doing amazing, by the way. If you haven't seen Epolight do stand-up comedy, you got to go check her out. Very funny stuff. So she was actually pretty funny on her own before we met, but now she's just like 17% funnier. So that's something.
I pushed for 20, but I got 17. That's okay.
I got that from a friend of mine from in LA, Eric Marino. That was his pitch. He would always tell people, take my class, I'll make you 17% funnier. I always thought that was hilarious when he said that.
So you said you were a bit apprehensive when before starting your class. Now
I had a bad experience. For myself, because I paid $300 for a comedy class in San Francisco, and basically it was just an open mic. That's literally all they did. I would just go on stage and do my 5 minutes, and then the guy would go, yeah, it was good. All right, cool. And then we'd sit down, and then the next guy would come up and do comedy. Yeah, and he'd go, you could do better. And I was just like, well, how's that helping me? I could have went to an open mic, and that would have been the same thing. So anyway,
I'm personally curious because you've done,
he's very
you've been
curious.
on tour. Oh,
he likes his fat bill.
So you've been on tour and you've been in open mics and like in front of a live audience, and now that you're doing the VR stuff and teaching people in VR, what would you say is harder for an upcoming comic to start up with the VR audience or the live audience in clubs or?
It's two different animals. So I mean, you can't compare the two. I mean, stand up is stand up. And the one thing, so I got to tell you this. So let's start with the basics. Being live in front of an audience is awesome no matter what. Whether it's you folks here in Altspace or whether it's people in IRL, in real life at a comedy club. It's the same experience almost. I mean, except for most of you are on mute, so we really can't hear you respond. But in real life, you don't get emojis. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, you don't get hearts flying up or hands or happy faces or silly faces. You don't get that in real life. That would be amazing. Like it's like you think you're having a bad audience and all of a sudden hearts start flying up out of nowhere. You're like, oh my God, I'm on acid. But
I'll be honest now. I will be honest because like I was taking the class and I was like, yeah, sometimes people don't laugh, and then afterwards they'll come up to you and be like, oh fuck, I am drunk. Holy shit, dude. But I'll make sure next time in this show I'm going to stand up.
Put your big
I
boy
will be
pants
very
on
careful.
there,
But here we go.
Come on, Epolight. Come on, Epolight.
Dude, I can't help it. I drink tequila. But so anyway, here we go. So Al in the class was like, sometimes an audience member will be like, hey, be complete silence. And then afterwards they'll be like, oh, that was funny. You were hilarious. And I was like, oh man, no. And then I get on the one stage and shit was fucking quiet. I'm up there now, just like sweating bullets, fucking freaking out, like I'm dying. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking dying up here. And after the show, someone came up to me and was like, you were so funny, you were amazing. And I'm like, well, why the fuck didn't you laugh, you asshole?
it's true.
Like I needed anything, like any sign. Y'all didn't
even that would have been good. Even sad trombone would have been helpful. But sometimes you come in here to Altspace, and then you folks don't turn on your mics, and we're sitting here performing to complete silence and dead eye. But I mean, we're glad you're here, though. We're still glad you're here.
I'm gonna, sorry, audience participation is turned on, by the way. If you raise your hand, you can ask Al over here a question. Could be any question in the world, or any question for any of us, really. We'll answer it. You can ask Epolight what underwear she's wearing.
Dude, you say this every week, and you know I don't wear underwear. Like, I haven't worn underwear since I gained weight.
You go raw dog. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, I didn't want like visible panty lines, and I think that is like so unattractive. So instead of wearing a thong that rides in places you don't want it to ride, I figured, fuck it, we going commando. You know what I mean?
Commando
Just
style.
let the
That's what
lips
it's
hang
called.
free.
What did I say? I
Let
said
the
raw
lips hang
dog.
free, ladies.
I don't think that's the same thing. Raw dog and commando aren't the same thing.
Yeah. So something I like to ask the comedians when we have comedians on is, what's one of the worst heckles you've ever had to deal with, and what was that moment like?
Worst heckle ever. I just talked about it the other day. Worst heckle ever was I came out on stage and I introduced myself, as you can see here, Big Al Gonzales. That is my stage name. And I started doing my jokes. And as I was starting, this very large African-American gentleman walked right up to the front of the stage and he goes, "You ain't Big Al." And I was like, whoa, excuse me? He goes, "You ain't Big Al." And I go, "What do you mean I'm not Big Al? I just said I'm Big Al. How can I not be Big Al? What weird universe am I in?" He goes, "You're not Big Al." And I go, "Well, who the fuck is Big Al?" He goes, "My dad's Big Al." And I was like, "Well, is your dad here?" He goes, "No." And I said, "Well, then he's not really going to care that somebody else is calling himself Big Al." And so, long story short, turns out this big fucker was Little Al. And I said, "Well, shit, you're huge." I said, "How fucking big is your dad?" I said, "Maybe I'm not Big Al. Maybe I need to rethink it, because if you're Little Al and your dad's Big Al, well, then obviously I'm not even in the realm of that. I just need to call myself Poquito Al or something." Micro Al. El Poquito Albert. All right. So he got really irate. And I wasn't budging. I kept telling. I was like, "Look, dude, I own the website. If you don't want me to be called Big Al, buy the website off me. It's valued at $2,000 right now. You can have it, and you and Big Al, your dad, you guys can run the whole Big Al empire. I'm okay with that." And so, anyways, instead of him going, "Oh, sure, I'll give you $2,000," he reached in his pocket and he pulled out a blade. He pulled out a very large blade. Yes, I'm not bullshitting you. He pulled out a very large blade, and he approached.
Wow.
So like, I'm like this, right? The audience is there, and it's in a bar, by the way. So I'm on stage just like this, like I am with you all, and he's like right there, like right in front of the stage, and then he moved closer with the blade in his hand, and he pulls it out, and he kind of motions towards me, and then he goes, "You're not Big Al," and I said, "So I'm supposed to renounce my name because you pulled out a knife?" I said, "That's not how it works, guy." And he just started going, and he didn't say anything anymore. And I said, "For those of you who can't see, he's got a knife out, and he's pointing it at me." And I said, "I don't know if he understands, but like, this is not the first time that's happened to me." And I said, and just to be honest with you, I said, if you're going to pull it out, you better use it. I said, because I work really hard to be a stand-up comic. So if you're going to stab me, at least kill me. I said, because if you don't, I'm going to jump off the stage and flying squirrel teabag you and rub my nuts right against your face. And I'm going to fucking chew your face like Hannibal Lecter, and we're both going to go down tonight. And then he just stood there, and I'm standing. It's like we're squaring off, and the crowd got quiet. And then all of a sudden, Big Al looked at me and took his knife and he goes, "You're all right." And then he puts his knife back in his pocket and he walked away. And I was like, holy shit. I just wanted to do my act. So I'm Big Al. So that's who I am.
Well, at least you didn't kill on stage.
No, I did kill on stage, but I didn't get killed on stage. So that's a plus.
Yes.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here doing a show.
So, we do have a question
o'clock
from
somewhere.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
So that answer your question?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Doge.
Just got a question you fucking
Yes,
asked
I have a
for.
Let's stand up.
First, yes, can you hear me okay? Because I've had a bad case of the voice crackle.
Sergius, I can hear you.
You got a bad
perfectly.
case of a lot of shit.
Wonderful. Oh, shut the fuck up. I ask this question of every single guest on here. Do you think that robots and AI will be the end of humanity? Well, or why not? Choose your answer carefully.
Well, do you work? Do you work for our future overlords?
I am your future overlord.
Okay, well, why are
I
you below
like
me
where
at
this
this
is
point?
going. Let me bend over. Daddy.
Talk about a power top. All right. Cool. Stick to the music. I'll stick to the jokes. All right, cool. Awesome. Next question. By the way, I'm live streaming this on Facebook
I'm
right now.
concerned
So.
about cats.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Taking
How
over
you
the
doing out
world.
there in Facebook world? Good to see you all out there.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump to a segment right now.
Segment.
Segment where we do, it's a trivia game. Al, you can participate with us.
I am fucked up, guys. So sorry. I should eat before I do this show. So
Surge
merch
Bot,
on
what's
the
your
front
intro?
row.
It is SurgeBot 2 who is going to do my intro. SurgeBot, what time is it?
It is trivia time!
All right, so those of you new to the show, and Al, you can participate if you're participating.
Well, thank you. I
Surge Bot
appreciate it.
he's gonna
That's
ask
what
me
it
30
is with
questions.
marriage.
If we get the question wrong, Epolight and I will have to take a shot. So that's how
Jesus.
that goes. Alrighty, there
Yeah,
it is.
all
So
right.
the question, go on.
Yeah, don't fucking rush me. Hey, God
Doge's
damn,
sex life
that
is used
not
to
the right
rushing through
one.
it.
Wow, good job. Okay,
So this is-
we have an issue. I uploaded all my images, and then Altspace decided, nah, we're gonna keep the old ones. So you
Oh,
wonderful.
whatever, then.
All right,
That's
so we're
fine.
gonna do.
Well, maybe
You
some
wanna
of these
do last
people
week's?
weren't
We're gonna
here
do
last
last
week.
week's.
How many people were here last
do
week?
it, do it. I have too drunk to remember.
Nobody.
Shaky
So
hands.
let's do
Yeah.
it again. I wasn't here.
There we go. Okay, fucking hell. For those of you who didn't fucking pay attention last week, because I know you're all drunk as shit. What year was Kahlua created?
I know
was
the
it 19
answer.
Shut the fuck up! Let me read the fucking questions! Is it A, 1922, B, 1936, C, 1955, or D, 2000?
I'm gonna guess C.
Alright, you're gonna guess C? What about you, Apple?
B.
You're gonna
B.
guess B? Well, there's a fucking shock. How about you, Doge?
I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna go C.
You're gonna go with C? Alright, bitches, was it C? What the fuck? There we
There you
go.
go.
God damn it! Alright, was it B?
All right. Where's my shot? Here.
Dude, you
There
got
we go.
this right last
Fucking-
week. You fucking
Yeah,
numb
at least somebody fucking paid attention in class.
I call rigged.
Rigged,
It's a fake election.
So wait, guys, in the audience, if you
We're
think you know the
storming the
answer, shout it
stage.
out, because some asshole last week said, it's 1922! And it fucking wasn't. So, shout it
It was
out if you
not.
think you know the answer.
But if you
Oh,
drink
here's
enough, it could be 1922.
2002.
It could be. Alright, here's my. Shut the fuck up. This is my favorite question of all fucking time, and you're not gonna ruin it for me. What's the angle between the hydroxyl group and the carbon atom chain and a
fuck
molecule of
outta here.
alcohol? Oh, you really didn't fucking pay attention last time, did you? Was it A, 90 degrees, B, 24 degrees, C, 132 degrees, E, 109 degrees, or D, fuck you, Sergius?
I'm gonna say
D.
A.
Well, I think it's C, but fuck that. Fuck you, Sergius, for this question 2 weeks in a row.
I'll put my answer from Willy Wonka over here. What is it?
D.
D. I'm gonna go D. I'm gonna go D.
You
I'll go
people,
D.
you bitches think it's
Can we
D.
get D?
You think it's fucking D. Alright, first up, since we got a legitimate answer, was it A? Sadly, it was not A, but thank you for giving
It's
me the
C.
best shot. You don't have to
It's
drink.
C. It's C.
It was
Right?
actually E.
Oh,
So I'm not
that was my
taking D as an
first
answer
choice,
this
damn
time.
it.
I am not taking D as an answer this week, so you guys better fucking drink.
Oh my god, do I have to?
Shots,
I mean,
shots, shots.
It was obviously not D. Okay, fine.
Those drinks anal. That was okay. Actually, guys, PSA, that's very dangerous. Be careful. Do not try that at home because it can get you really drunk but fucking kill you.
Okay,
Anyway.
I'm there. Next question. Go on.
Next question. How many balls are needed in a game of beer pong? 2 is not a correct answer. Is it A, 16, B, 35, C, 10, or D, 20?
I'm going with E, fucking 1 like last week. What the fuck?
D. I'm gonna go with D.
I'm gonna go with you there. Tell me the answer.
You know, it's 1 ball if you do it right, and 1 ball I actually fucked a guy like that, so it's okay.
Waiting for the answer.
That's all he needed.
B.
I'm gonna go with B. I'll go with B.
You
How
know
the fuck do you
B,
need
35
10 balls
fucking...
in fucking beer pong? Like, that's
I went
crazy.
D.
Shut the fuck up and I'll reveal the answers.
Right.
Was it C? Was it B? No, it was
hell.
fucking A. You people didn't pay attention in class. I hate to be
Are we going with fucking D cups, or are we going with balls here?
Okay,
That's a big difference. Like, who fucking came
Well,
up with this question?
To be honest,
Like, our
it's a
major
little
strength?
unfair because I'm in Texas and everything's bigger out there, so we do 20.
Wait,
10 and 10,
is
baby.
this,
So we got
is
10
this
and
too
10.
late to thank our writing staff?
Aggressive band leader.
Oh, you do.
He's no Doc
Yes.
Severinsen, I'll tell you that.
Alright, well you fuckers are in luck because the Altspace changer isn't working anymore, so I guess you don't gotta drink anymore because I know you wouldn't get it.
I know this
Anyway,
answer.
yeah, oh, there we go, it fucking changed! Never mind! The language the word alcohol originated from: A, Greek, B, Arabic, C, Latin, or
Audience
D,
member.
Irish.
Let's go with the audience, because I know this.
I've been going. The audience has been making me.
I'm saying
All right, I'm taking my answer from you there.
Don't trust the audience,
I got this guy, Willy Wonka.
Wait. What's the answer?
You're
Go with
right,
yours.
B.
Yeah, give me your answer. I'll go with yours.
It's definitely
You're right. Yeah, right here.
I'm going with the Greek. I'm going with
You
A.
know what, Greg?
You're wrong, Doge.
Shut the fuck up! What is your answer?
It's B, motherfucker. I'm going with
You think
Willy
it's B,
Wonka.
and then what did you say?
He
Al?
likes
Hey,
it
I
in the
said
chocolate
A.
factory.
Was it Greek?
C.
Fucking
Fucking
hell.
listen to the audience. It was.
Doge.
B.
Woo! Great, motherfucker.
Oh,
Y'all need to pay attention.
That was
last
awful. I will
week
not
I
watch
was
your ASMR.
plastered. I was plastered as fuck last week, yet I fucking remembered. So y'all,
You
suck.
studied.
I'm just
Good
saying.
job.
Alrighty.
There we go.
I feel so
She was gonna
bad
give me
for
alcohol
Al.
poisoning at one point, I'm sure.
I feel so bad for Al. This is like
Is
one of the
it
shittier
normally this out of
shows,
control?
You know what? Sometimes it's
Be a game.
He's very
All
pent
right.
up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to buy Sergius an escort, the Ko-Fi is right down here.
So for the Facebook audience that's watching, so this is VR. This is a VR talk show. And it gets crazy. So this is, I'm immersed in this like full immersion VR, and this is a real.
He is fully immersed in it.
Yes, is that the correct
Fully.
phrase? Emerge. I'm immersed with Surge.
He's
Immerse
balls
Surge.
deep in
Immerse with
VR,
Surge.
guys.
Hashtag emerge with Surge.
All right,
That's when
ladies and gentlemen.
That's when he's had enough of you all, and he breaks off and does
So-
his own show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, tell us right now. Personally, I don't like the screaming. It's kind of
We'll do
abrasive.
any questions. But
So-
anyway, Al, I want you to tell me, 'cause I'm also curious. I like asking the comedians, what's one of your favorite moments being on tour? What's like one of your best experiences?
He tours with Steve Trevino, by the way. So check him.
Check him out,
on,
very funny guy. He just came out.
yeah.
He just put out a special called "My Life in Quarantine." It's on Prime right now, and if it's on Prime Video, or I'm sorry, Amazon Prime, and when you start the video, in the very first 5 seconds, you'll see me. I'm on stage. And I'm bringing him up. I'm calling his name, and he comes up on stage. So you get to see me for like 5 seconds on the video. So go check it out. I'm not the one on it. It's his video, but he's hilarious. And go check it out. Anyways, so you want to know what my favorite moment on the road? Or
Sure, yeah.
Like in
One of
general?
your favorite moments in general?
In general comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Was it the
so many-
prostitutes?
Was it the prostitute? Never had prostitute. Actually, this was actually a very fun moment. So when I first started doing comedy, I used to be a DJ at a strip club. I was a DJ at a strip club in San Francisco on Broadway, and I worked at one of the worst clubs on that strip. I was the lunchtime DJ. I used to work the lunch shift at what was it called? Roaring Twenties. The name of the club was called the Roaring Twenties. I think that's when they started that club, because it was filthy and dirty. They hadn't changed anything. The curtains were probably from the 20s. But I was the worst DJ ever. But I was working there, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm back. Now I'm drinking. All right, so I was working at the strip club. And I just started doing comedy at the time, and there was a local comedy competition that I'd signed up for, and I had to get out of work a little bit earlier. So the late night DJ decided he would do me a favor, and he came in earlier to cover my shift so that I can run off to the comedy club to do my set. So unbeknownst to me, my manager Hank got all the girls together and came to the club to support me. I didn't know this, because when they called me from the green room to go out on stage to perform, I jumped on stage, and when they called my name, I came to the stage, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just saw a shit ton of underwear and thongs being thrown onto the stage. So I'm standing there on stage, they introduce me, and it's completely dark in the audience, so all the light's in my face, but all of a sudden, all these thongs are like they're hanging off of me, on my clothes, on the floor. You have like 12,
Somebody
it
like
sounded like a
that.
large group of women just screaming and yelling and moaning, and the crowd
Was
was
it-
like, what the hell's going on? So my manager, Hank, had brought like a dozen girls from the club to support me for the competition. So I didn't win, but it was still fun, and I always remember that, because there's nothing.
Aw.
Now I know how Tom Jones felt, to have underwear thrown at them.
Well,
I'm not as
those
sexy
would've
as
came
Tom
for
Jones.
Much less,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was one of my more fun experiences. Yes.
You have I
Nice.
mean, Al was also a Marine. He was keeping the American end up all across the world for us. So
Oh, right. Yeah. Thank you.
I was in the Marine Corps 100 pounds ago, so thank you. Appreciate it. I did it for the college money. I'm not going to lie. I did it completely for the college money.
I think
So-
that's amazing.
Freedom.
This is
I
kind.
just need free education.
Yeah, I was interested in it. I did hear about your time in the Marine Corps. What was that like
Oh,
for
really?
you?
What did they
and
tell
what-
you? My reputation precedes me.
I wanted to know the correlation between your experience in the Marines and how that led you to eventually pursuing comedy. Like, what's the correlation there? Did you have any like? Did you
Well,
find
to be honest
humor
with you,
in the Marines? Is what I'm saying.
well,
Uh,
I'm kind of a smart ass. I'm very acerbic and I'm a smart ass. I don't like authority, which is bizarre because I did join the Marine Corps, but I'm really bad with authority, and because I have a drama
Yeah.
background, I used to do theater and I studied theater in high school and college. I did like 2 years of college before I joined the Marine Corps, and
You
so
did it for the
I
college money?
well, yeah, I couldn't afford. I was going to community college, and I was only able to afford a couple classes. And so I was
Yeah.
like, there's got to be something better than this. Actually, I don't think it was. No, it was 2 semesters. Sorry, it wasn't 2 years. It was 2 semesters. So I did fall, and then I did spring, and I was like, this is too expensive. I can't afford it. So, anyways, I joined the Marine
Mhm.
Corps. I went in, and during boot camp, it occurred to me, holy shit, these guys are actors. These drill instructors are just actors. I started to realize that's right. That's like all these kids, they're like 17, 18 years old. And I'm the same. I just turned 18 and at first I was freaked out, and so was everybody. But then after a while, I started, dude, I'm an actor. I studied acting. I know an actor when I see him, and I realized the drill instructors were just playing a role. They were just playing a role to get us in shape and ready to be sent to war across the ocean. So I was like, once I found out it was just an act, I started to enjoy the experience because I approached it
Yes.
as a performer. So I was like, okay, I can play the part. If you guys are playing a part, then I'll play a part. So I just basically played the part of a Marine who's listening to orders. So they said to do something. It's like a director telling me what to do, and then I just did it. And then it made it so much easier. So when they got in my face and such, it didn't offend me. Like I didn't get offended. Like when they would, who's anybody in the military out there in the audience? Was anybody in the military?
I don't
No?
know. I
You were in the
like when
military?
my
All
What branch were
right.
you in,
Sure,
man?
hell yeah.
What branch were you in?
Believe it. The U.S. Air Force, motherfucker.
U.S. Air Force. So he's a chair writer. I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you, bro.
Oh
But
man.
you should
I
have been
like-
higher. Okay, anyways.
I liked when my GI Joe was in my face. It was a very good experience. I mean, oh my gosh, it was
Yeah, but
definitely
so
fully
they're
cocked.
yelling at you and everything,
Yeah.
and they're in your face, and normally that would make you frightened, but for me I knew they didn't mean it, so I would start laughing because the shit they would say was hilarious. Like they would say the most redonkulous stuff, and I would just I would lose it, and I would start laughing. They go, "You think this is funny, Gonzales? What's your problem? What's your problem? You think everything's a joke?" And I was just like, "Yeah, kind of. I mean, you guys are pretty funny." So I just kept laughing, and I would get in trouble for it. And so then they started calling me Private Paul Rodriguez because I was always laughing.
So,
So
if
then they
you
would have
have
me. They would have me
Go
tell
ahead.
them jokes. They would go, "Tell me a joke," and I didn't have any jokes. I wasn't a comic at that time.
Mm.
So, but that's kind of how it started. And like I said, I realized it was all an act, and I just played along with it. And it was like there was nothing they can say that insulted me. Like they said some pretty insulting stuff, but I come from a middle class Mexican household, and I don't know if you've been raised by a Mexican dad, but there's
Yep.
nothing a drill
Yeah.
instructor can say to me that my dad hasn't already said to me, or even worse. Like when they
Hell
say it,
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know you, so it's not personal. When my dad said it, it's like that guy loves me, and he's saying this shit. That hurts. Like these drill instructors, it's like nothing. I was like, whatever. Is that all you
Yeah.
got?
So,
Shit.
so guys.
I've had worse by 7 o'clock in the morning back home. So
Oh,
Yeah.
so guys,
Right.
we have. So think of any questions you want to ask us before the show's over because we have to go into our last ad of the evening. And
cool.
then,
I got
Alright.
like 2 minutes, but is that it for
Oh,
me?
shit.
Because I just
All
have
right.
to
Yeah.
ask. I I don't know how
It's
long the
fine.
show goes, but
Well, the show's gonna
unfortunately,
go-
I do got to get going, Epolight, because I
Okay,
am
okay.
shooting.
All right, everybody,
I'm-
give it up for Big Al.
Hold on.
Well, I just want to let him know I'm,
Wait,
I'm
hold
doing a
on.
music.
Yeah.
I'm doing a music video shoot, so
Oh,
you guys
nice.
can catch me in a
Oh.
music video. My friend Lefty has a
That's San
band,
Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, San Antonio. Also, if you're interested in learning stand-up, hit me up on Facebook or come to our shows. We have shows on Altspace in the Failed to Render Comedy Club every
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's 9 o'clock Central is the show. So come and check us out. Epolight is on our show. I think you're on one of the shows this week.
I am on this week. Thursday.
She's on this week.
I will
Which
be there.
night? I can't remember.
Thursday.
Thursday. So come and check us out Thursday. You can see me. You can see Epolight. You can come and check out the show. It's one of the longest running comedy club shows in Altspace. So anyways, thank you so much. It's fun. Thank you, Epolight. I appreciate being
Thank
here.
you so much.
DogeCola, I'm so glad that you were here too. Serge, I'll see you in the future when the AI takes over.
Thank you.
I will remember.
Thank you.
will
It's
be
been great.
spared.
My name is Big Al. Look me up at bigalgonzales.com. Peace.
There you guys.
Everybody,
BigAl
give it up for
Gonzales.com.
Big Al
Give it up for Big
Gonzales.
Al, everybody. Busy man. We're gonna get
He
to our final
is-
sponsor of the evening.
Dude,
for
I
those
gotta
of you who
stand up.
are
I am
For those of you who are
plastered,
new here,
bro.
who just came in last minute, we do a segment during the show.
Doge is a
our
last minute
sponsors-
guy.
I am.
This
Our
poor
sponsors
wife.
are how we pay the bills, pay for the sets, pay for Epolight's fancy dress over here, and the booze. So we're gonna get our
Don't
sponsor up
forget
right
the
now.
booze. Oh my god, dude, I can
So
hardly
this one
stand the
actually
fuck up.
goes hand in hand with our show. So those of you who drink a lot of beer, you get that bit of a beer belly. So this one's like a weight loss program. Epolight, why don't you tell me about the beer belly bus?
Are you trying to say I'm fat? Fuck you,
Yes.
Doge. Okay, I gained 10 pounds during quarantine. That's it. You bastard.
I can't tell you.
All in
Okay. Thank you so. I don't know who said that, but we can have sex later.
That was you.
So, Beer Belly Busters, okay? Award-winning 12-step, I like the 13-step programs. Turn that keg into a six-pack. So, gentlemen, are you tired of carrying around that spare tire? Ladies,
have
are
that
you
problem.
also tired of carrying around a second vagina because, like, your rolls kind of just keep going down here?
Right.
This program is for you because all of a sudden you can go from chunky to thin, okay? I mean, the only chunky most people like is in Campbell's soup. And other than that, this program fit in 90 days. Fuck that shit because right now I can do this program and I can barely stand the fuck up, okay? It usually requires like one and I mean, you lose weight and the only thing you have to do is somebody else. It's an amazing program. It's kind of like it's a 2-for-1 deal because if you can do it, someone else can do you, and it's an amazing program. So you take that keg and you pump the shit out of it. Mostly for guys. The guys have to do the pumping part. So you take that keg,
God.
you pump it up, and then it kind of explodes into an epic weight loss program all over her face. So you too can do it at home. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 8-minute mark. Dude, get your ass back here. We're trying to close the oh fuck, that's a wall. So
Let me go to beerbellybusters.com. Use the code. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and take some weight loss classes. Why not?
yeah, exactly. So, gentlemen and ladies, you all look so beautiful. So, and everybody knows I like the brothers in the audience. So, if you're single, it's
She drunk.
You know, let's mingle a little bit.
Alrighty. Well, you know what? Thank you guys for coming. We do it every
Doge.
Tuesday. Make sure to check out the
She's
Discord.
talking.
I'm playing
You're
the
so
fucking
handsome.
shit.
I'm sorry, but your wife's head was in the wall. I thought you were single for a moment.
After the show.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, I'm using.
Anyway,
hey, Daddy.
we do this every Tuesday, same time. Check out the Discord link over here. Join us for Discord. If you like us and you want to donate $1 or something, check out the Ko-Fi.
We need liquor money. And actually, I don't know, Doge. Can I say it? Can I say it?
Liquor in
Check us
I
out on
personally
YouTube. VR Arcade, YouTube.com.
Well, yeah, that too.
What else, Epolight? What, are
I
you
was
okay? Are you dead?
thinking about maybe next week giving out a free bottle of liquor to somebody in the audience. Like, but you have to go to all 4 shows during the week and give us. Oh fuck! I'm gonna spill my drink. I don't want to do that. Hold on. And then maybe
Liquor?
and
I
then-
hardly know her.
Well, you know, you can know me better if you want. I mean, I don't know.
Alrighty.
Jeremy was
Thank you
great
guys
down
for
there.
coming.
That's what I like about
That's our
black
show.
guys, dude. They
Join
know
us
how to
again
fucking
Tuesday.
do it right down there.
Epolight, we're on the air. Twitch.com. We have a Twitch.
Yo, Twitch. Look, I don't want to be banned this week. We love you, so Twitch. It's Epolight at Twitch. You guys know who you are.